Would you like to learn? Is the bull market over? Are things going to get worse for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and therefore altcoins? Or is there a quick reversal that's likely to happen? And what are my top 6 crypto altcoin holdings in my strongest categories? My name's the Suppoman, your superhero of 100 to 1000x gems. Now, I have found the best multipliers in every crypto bull market so far, so my insights can be relied upon. However, I am giving you this message as far as educational purposes. I'm not going to be giving you any financial advice and saying what you should be buying and how much. So, this is what I have done in all of my time in cryptocurrency, found the biggest multipliers. Why? Because this is what I am all about. It is multipliers. We are in a goldmine asset class. This is truly an asset class where you can make riches almost instantly. And so my job is to find the altcoins that have the most explosive upside in various categories. Hence why I've done so well so far, and why, in my personal opinion, I'm going to continue to do way better than what you see right in front of you. So if you love content like this, make sure you smash a like on this video, and make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already, because I have noticed there are more watchers or views than I have subscribers. So make sure that you subscribe so you never miss out when I give alpha, which I do give in my live sessions that I don't necessarily give first of all on my main channel. So, where we are in the market right now is, well, we are seeing incredible amounts of red. Everything is down, and in some cases down absolutely catastrophically. Okay, we are seeing double-digit losses in the last 24 hours, and it has really taken people by surprise. And you can see this by the total wreckage, okay? So what you can see here is you can see how much, in terms of longing and shorting the leverage trading market, how much has been liquidated in long positions particularly. Okay, so where we had many opening up long positions, longing means that you believe the prices are going to go up of assets. Where we have many people longing because of the rate cut, it actually opened out a perfect opportunity for exchanges to basically bury these long positions and liquidate them. And you can see that they have done it in the last 24 hours to the tune of $1.8 billion. Okay, only 138 million has been liquidated in shorts, and the majority by a huge margin, like over 10x. Like we're looking at a 12x more in longs have been liquidated. Right? And as a result of that, it has caused for pandemonium in the market, because Bitcoin goes down dramatically. You know, it has gone, you know, from 116,000 that we were teetering on the last few days, and it has plummeted to 112 and falling, potentially falling. We've seen Bitcoin dominance has gone up. We have seen that the altcoin market has absolutely shot down. We went from a 100 score on altcoin season and plummeted down to being outside of altcoin season all of a sudden. Right, we have plunged below 75. So what does this mean? You know, if we're looking at the market right now, we are seeing very heavy duty losses. You know, if we have a look at the deck screener, if we have a look at my particular, you know, altcoin plays, then you can see, well, the ones that I am watching on deck screener, then you can see there are only 2 presently that are in profit. And this is basically completely indicative of what everybody is seeing. You know, there are few positions right now in the green. And what does this mean? Okay, so what this means is potentially some more pain. Now we can see that Bitcoin is right now quite weak. Okay, we can see that in this channel here, it could hit a potential bottom of $106,000. So we are in a potential, remember, downtrend, okay, for the rest of September. I mean, if you look at all of the cryptos down right now, it would lead people to think that the bull market is over right now. Let me just take you through some of the things that I've seen, right? So, Alex Becker says, I'm real talk. I'm fucking sick of waiting for alt season 2. About fed up of being patient. Newbie me would have clocked out. This is how they get you. This is why so few will catch this, which means the upside. It's going to happen when you've lost nearly all interest to continue to stay in locked at all costs. Now, Ansem has replied, I actually think, very cleverly actually, people just caught a liquid 10x on Asta not even a week ago. So Asta is a I think it's a perpetual DEX. I don't care for it because it was already a high market cap. People got a 10x on it, right? Alt season is perpetually happening in crypto now because there's just infinite new plays. Alt season of the past, where everything with a token went parabolic, is never happening again. Now, I agree with both of these, okay? So, as I said to you in my last video, the crypto market has changed from where it was in 2017 and not so much 2021. So 2017, it was really a spot market, right? You were not getting involved in, all of these kind of longing and shorting. It didn't really happen. Like I believe there were some tools, to be able to do so. But you had the likes of, what was it called? BitMEX coming to the fore back in 2020. And then you had Bybit, and then you had a few others, Binance, and everybody was giving you instruments to be able to long and short the market from kind of 2019 onwards, right? So 2017, yeah, we do not have what we used to have in the past where everything with a token literally went parabolic. Some went more parabolic than others, but in the main, most cryptocurrencies went parabolic, right? That doesn't exist anymore, right? In 2021, when we did have longing and shorting, what we did have was we had the stimulus checks that went out as a result of COVID, and people had money. We had, really a huge inflationary period where money was being printed and given out to people that then bought assets, and that led to the 2021 top. Where are we now? Well, we are in a position, as I have already brought you, we are in betwixt a rate cut and a recession. Meaning that I believe we have got a short window, right, where I believe that we are going to go parabolic, right? Not as necessarily everything goes parabolic, but the market will be in a state of euphoria where Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana will for sure go up. But, in my personal opinion, I think only certain narratives have the potential to really make a blow-off top. And that is why I'm going to be showing you later on in this video my top 6 crypto holdings in my top categories. Okay, the ones that I think are the most bullish. But I definitely agree with this, okay? Alt season is perpetually happening. What's happening right now is not really an alt season. Fine, we had Asta, but that was about it. Pump went up a little bit as well. But we didn't really have, we didn't have the majority of it. We didn't have some, a big bulk of altcoins really going up. So that couldn't even be classed as a real alt season. What we saw here was not an alt season. We did see most cryptocurrencies outperforming Bitcoin. Now we've got 65% of top 100 coins outperforming Bitcoin, right? So we have seen this. We have seen that Bitcoin has had a rather stale 4.4% rise in the last 90 days, whilst everything else, a lot of cryptocurrencies, they only needed to beat 4.4%. So, this altcoin season isn't really indicative of euphoria. It's not really indicative of a kind of everything burger when everything's going up. No, right? That has not happened. It's not happened yet. And I do believe that the reason why this long liquidation was able to happen is purely because there is a lack of liquidity in the market right now. Like if you only have to look at my present videos on my main channel. My main channel is how I can gauge interest levels. Bear with me 1 second. Let me just make sure that everything is, you can hear me and all that. And that, and also share it over to the good people. Yes, you can hear me. So let me just share this over to X. Done and done very quick. Look at that. Smash a like on that if you can without leaving this stream. So I believe that the reason these liquidations were able to happen is simply because there is no liquidity right now. My traffic, the views on my videos are very lukewarm right now. You would not think, like I can tell you that in the last alt season, I was getting, 30, 40k views. Right? And then since then, I've been getting like 20k and lower, like let's say 16, 17k over a week when it's been very poor liquidity, low interest, right? And it's quite funny that during this period and this period, my views are exactly the same. So the appetite isn't there, the new money isn't there. There isn't a huge amount of people, even after the rate cuts, my views didn't really go up at all. And that's just showing you that there is still a way to go. But there is no liquidity. And so exchanges were easily able to destroy the long positions that were created as a result of the interest rate cut. Right? And I think this is going to be quite a temporary thing. Very temporary, in fact. I do believe that we've only got like literally a couple of weeks that this could potentially go on for. But I believe that the danger zone, and when I say danger zone, I actually mean violent upside. I believe that, well, it's also known as the banana zone. So the banana zone, I believe is coming from October to January. There is also an argument that stimulus checks are going to be printed next year as a result of really nobody spending. The appetite isn't there. Like, the reason my views are bad is because people are not feeling rich. People are not spending on crypto, risk on assets. Right now, they're not. The green light hasn't really gone off yet. It went off when Trump went into power, but other than that, nothing really yet. So until the green light comes on, people aren't buying, but there is going to be a chance of stimulus checks next year. And with that in mind, we could be seeing a spill into 2026. We could actually be seeing 2026 being the kind of elongated market cycle where for the first time, we don't necessarily follow the 4-year cycle. Now, I want to make a very important point here. And I don't really know quite which table to bring up the most. But what I want to tell you is that you can never catch the top. So I've been around since since about here. This was actually March 2017 was when I entered cryptocurrency, right? That's when I made my first buy, which was Ripple. Okay? Right down here on the flat line, right? So you can imagine how lucky I've been. Right? And a lot of you who have followed me, you've also been around this long too. But what I can tell you is nobody caught the top in 2018. Everybody thought 2018, because what happened was we had Bitcoin top in December 2017, and then we had an altcoin boom for the next 3 weeks, okay, which took us to kind of first or second week of January. No one caught that top, including me. Right? I actually did sell one crypto at the top, which happened to be the one I had the largest holdings in. So I luckily caught the top, but I didn't skillfully catch the top. Now, having learned from that and the kind of data that we were given for 2021, again, 4-year cycles that then became a thing where it was like every 4 years you have 1.5 year bull, 2.5 years bear. The warning signs were given to everybody in 2021. And yet everybody missed the top because I was watching everybody's videos, including mine. I missed the top as well. At this point, we were thinking, well, Bitcoin's going to go to 100k. And it didn't actually happen. So what I can tell you is that catching the top is so super difficult. And it's designed for you to never catch it. All right, so if we are actually to be in a 4-year cycle, which if we have a look at Ionic, one of my buddies, he says Q4 2025 will be your chance to make FU money. If you don't follow me and take the risks, blah, 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 you're gonna regret it, end up depressed, still in debt, working a job you hate, where the wife doesn't respect you, kids that don't listen to you, house you don't own until she leaves you, and then you'll probably contemplate suicide. Don't fuck up this final parabola phase, right? So, so definitely the potential is there for a blow-off top between October and January, right? So October 2025, January 2026, that is the period of potential blow-off topness, because it's typical that it's kind of 12 to 18 months after the halving that the top will fall within. It's always happened so far. But we are in an environment where crypto is now commingled with stocks and, really stocks, the stock market. And also kind of in correspondence also with the housing market as well, and various commodities. And each of those assets right now are suffering. They're not suffering how crypto's suffering. If we look at the DJI 6930, now we look at the DJI, look, that's on an all-time high. SPX is on an all-time high. Nasdaq's on an all-time high. Having said that, the exuberance in the market is not like it was in 2020, 2021, and we could be seeing that happening in 2026. So given that tops are not designed to be easy to catch, it could be that it's elongated. So people are waiting for October to January, like Ionic said, like Alex Becker said, like most of Crypto X are saying, and maybe even Crypto YouTube are saying. But with absolute certainty, the majority are going to miss the top. And it could be that October to December just carry on. We don't actually get that euphoria phase. And people just bow out and they're like, no, we missed the bull market. We missed the euphoria. There is no euphoria. Cash out and run. And then mid next year, where we could potentially see stimulus checks, which has been discussed already. This is already in the pipeline. Stimulus checks next year, mid next year. So actually, for the first time ever, everybody could miss the move, and the move may not be 2025, it may be 2026. But what I'm going to tell you is I am not leaving. I am not selling until there are potential signs, of a euphoria stage, right? And I'll see that in my portfolio. It will be reflected in my portfolio, because I've got a very good radar for what's in trend, right? So if what's in trend isn't having some kind of euphoria, and I would not say that one cryptocurrency like Asta doing a 10x counts as a euphoria stage for DeFi, until it's reflected in my portfolio, I will be continuing to hold. Back in 2021, admittedly, I missed the top because I, like others, were all thinking Bitcoin was going to go to 100k, right? And we missed the opportunity to cash out then, right? But thinking back, there were so many signs of euphoria. Binance was the leading exchange, was the leading app. Coinbase was the leading app. People were texting me who I hadn't heard from for years, saying, what should I buy, what should I buy, what should I buy? People back from I looked on my message history, and I was seeing the people who were messaging me at the end of 2021, September 2021, through to November 2021, and I looked through the message history, and the last time they messaged me was back in 2018, right? So it was a 3-year hiatus, and they were like, what should I buy, what should I buy? So the signs were there, right? It was glaringly obvious in the face, but the greed was there too. And, like always, everybody misses the top. So it gets reflected in your portfolio come what may. So whether it's October to January, or whether it's actually from February to June, or maybe even, absolute worst case scenario is October 2026 to January 2027. We'll just have to wait and see. All right. But really, I don't think, even though I agree with both of these sentiments, I do think there's going to be an altcoin season. I do think that these liquidations is how they make people sell and miss out. And I also think not everything is going to go up, right? And alt seasons are perpetually happening. Whether or not it says alt season here or not, alt seasons are happening. You know, I've made incredible gains just this year, and and there has been no alt season since December, and I've made some incredible gains this year. So I've made life-changing money just in this year alone without an alt season, right? So the kind of the truth is kind of buried in both of these sentiments, which are almost opposing, right? But I don't believe that we are anywhere close to an all-time high as of yet. Now, I'm not going to say, because last time where I was caught out is I believed that Bitcoin was going to go to 100k, back down here. We didn't. And now this time I believe Bitcoin's going to go to 200k. Other people think that Bitcoin's going to go even higher than that. 500,000, 1 million, stupid figures, right? But I'm not going to get caught out. Basically, as I brought you in my last video, as I get very, very good multipliers, I take profits out. I take profits out at various stages of that multiplier, right? So, my personal opinion is we are not even close to an all-time high as of yet, because memes haven't popped off. And the reason why memes is the big indicator is because, and why memes were always the end of cycle pump before it went all back into fiat and all the coins crashed no matter what narrative, is because new money go to memes. That's why new money goes to memes. That's why memes is the biggest indicator. And memes have had some great times. With trending cryptocurrencies or crypto trends or mainstream trends, you do see some meme coins. I only have to go to Dex Screener and go 24 hours. Look, there are still life-changing monies being made constantly because of some particular narrative or not, right? But for the main, I believe that this bull market has not been made out yet. Okay, it's not been fully realized yet. And whether that is a euphoria stage that essentially takes up a couple of narratives, not all, or not, I don't believe it's been made out yet. So, now I am going to take you through the cryptocurrencies that are my top 6. Now, I've just laid them out bare, right? Now, this isn't an exhaustive list by any means, right? But this is my top 6 in order of holdings. Let me just show you, okay? So the first one that you're probably going to be disinterested by, and the reason I'm showing it to you is simply because, well, today is a large dip day. So if you are looking to take positions and essentially just copy what I've got, you can, right? Now, you saw when I entered cryptocurrency, I've held Bitcoin ever since it was $1,000, right? So clearly it's going to be my number 1, right? H-bar, if you were around in 2018, you would have seen I put 250k into H-bar, right? Which actually was probably one of the dumbest decisions I made, because I sold, I think, 26 Bitcoins to do that, right? And in the end, H-bar's 2x'd, right? Since then, since 2018 when I did it, or 2019 when I did it, I think Bitcoin at that time was like 6k or something. So 26 Bitcoins, like 26 Bitcoins that I spent on H-bar, would have been worth 2.6 million instead of the 250k I spent. Oh, it must have been 10,000 then. So H-bar is still one of my big ones. Solana, Ethereum, Sui, and ADA, right? These are in order of holdings. This is my top 6. Okay, so Bitcoin's number 1, H-bar's number 2, etc., etc. Memes-wise, these are my holdings. So despite what FUD may have been said about Doge, Doge is actually by far my biggest holding, right? I have got the equivalent of one of these in Doge, right? And when I say the equivalent, I mean what I've got in these is quite sizable. So Doge is my biggest, right? So the reason I'm showing you this is really to be very transparent. When the euphoria stage comes in and my views are getting up to 50, 60, 80, 100k, maybe even 200k, right? Because I imagine that being one of the most degen multiplier finders that exists out there, I'm going to get a lot of views. I mean, I'm getting good views now, despite there being virtually no new money, no new audience, right? So just to be very transparent, these will be my priorities. These will be what I talk about the most and at the pivotal times, right? So Doge, then Meow. I am a large holder in Meow despite the market cap being very low right now. The market cap is 1.4 million, right? And I am a large holder of Meow, a large holder of Suppoman, a relatively large holder of SPX, okay? I would say these three are, I would say Doge is in a class of its own in terms of how much I hold of it. Meow and Suppoman are kind of quite similar in terms of how much I hold of it. Then SPX is kind of in the middle. And then you've got Andy and Lolcoin. Now you're probably saying, well, where's fuck 9 to 5? Where's Millennial? Where's all that? Well, because they have absolutely tanked in value, like they are not even in my top 6 in terms of holdings, right? So these are my current top 6 meme coins. And I mean, I've got way more of this than I've got in SHIB, in Pepe, in any of the elite meme coins, right? I have got the biggest bags in smaller plays because, as you know, as I did with Ethos back in 2017, I have the highest holdings in the lowest, one of the lowest market caps, so that when Euphoria comes in, it creates absolutely infinite money. Almost like you print money out of every orifice in your human body, right? That's what happened with Ethos last time. I put 20k into Ethos, which turned into 8 million, right? So that's why I do it, because it's all about timing in cryptocurrency. If you nail the timing, the coin is still relevant at the time of Euphoria, and it resonates with the audience while I'm getting huge traffic, then basically it just creates an infinite money printer, right? And Doge and Meow, I think, are so super undervalued at this point that I am very much looking forward to Euphoria season, because there's absolutely no doubt memes will be part of it. People can say utility coins till they're blue in the face and say utility coins are coming back. Utility coins are going to do better than memes. Utility coins is where, the money is made. Bullshit, it's not where the money is made. What I can tell you right now is the money is preserved in these because rich people are already in them. And I should know because these are my biggest holdings overall, right? The majority, I would never talk about any of these, despite the fact that actually these multiplying would make me more money than all of these many times over. But I don't talk about these because they're all self-perpetuating. They're already in self-marketing zone. They're in a class of cryptocurrency that is selling themselves. They're in all the major exchanges. Everybody knows their name. They're household names. Therefore, the upside is very, very minor. So whilst me talking about these would benefit me hugely, it doesn't benefit you hugely. And also, it is just boring, pointless rubbish. To talk about these coins. It's a waste of energy. And all the people who are putting like $300 into cryptocurrency, watching YouTubers that talk about these types of coins, those people are pretty stupid. You're not. You're here. So what can I say? Anyway, so I believe large upside is coming for these meme coins because there's absolutely no doubt about the fact that when new money come in, which happens in every euphoria stage, they are going to go straight to meme coins, particularly this era's meme coins, because back in 2021 and 2017, in 2017 there were no meme coins. In 2021, there were a few meme coins, and Shiba pumped like mad, even though it was already a high market cap, it pumped like mad because it was all there was. All the others, SafeMoon had already capitulated and they already rugged, right? And Shiba was one of the only live ones there was. But this time, it will be different because there are way more memes, way more narratives that resonate with the normal human being. Like back in 2021, you couldn't invest in a Charlie Kirk coin or a Trump coin or a coin about a mainstream celebrity or a mainstream TV show or a mainstream piece of news. You didn't have that in 2021. You have that now. So people who are your average, they may watch TikTok, they may watch the news, they know exactly what is current. They will go to memes and they will go to what is trending, what sounds relatable, what was recognizable. They're going to go to memes. And so they're going to love memes, they're going to love videos on memes, and that's where I'm going to strike. Strike! You know my strategy. Then we're going to look at AI. Now, I think memes is way more powerful than AI. There is somewhat infinite competition with memes. Having said that, good meme narratives will pop the fuck off. Look at Doge, that popped off. SPX, that popped off. Like, strong narratives will pop off despite infinite competition because mascots are here to stay. They're semi-permanent types of cryptocurrency. But AI, this relies on AI mainstream news. The only reason Render went to an astronomical all-time high, pumping all of the AI coins, was because of Nvidia. That was the only reason. Nvidia was one of the top performing stocks in the SPX, in the Dow Jones, one of the top performing assets in the stock market. All right, which is unheard of, really, because most of the stock market kind of goes up the same and kind of goes down the same. But Nvidia was more powerful than most stocks. And so it made AI cryptocurrencies pump like mad. Now, yes, also you had OpenAI came out with ChatGPT back at the end of 2023. Was it end of 2023? Or beginning of 2023? Yeah, I think it was beginning of 2023. And that caused that initial 2023 pump for AI coins, right? But you rely on mainstream news to make AI go up. AI doesn't just go up. It goes up because of innovations in mainstream. Okay, so maybe there will be some big product that comes out of OpenAI or DeepSeek or one of these big AI companies, right? And on that happening, or Nvidia, and on that happening, yes, AI coins will pump like crazy. But without that, it will not really pump like crazy. You know, what I've come to learn in this new era, of perpetual alt seasons, is that there needs to be a kind of catalyst that makes a certain narrative go up. Deepin only went up again because of Nvidia, because it was GPUs, right? And so Deepin, Nvidia was basically AI and GPUs, and that's why AI and Deepin absolutely crushed it in 2024. But there's not been anything since, and that is required. Okay, the only way that you get into an AI coin that doesn't rely on any of the mainstream AI companies doing well is if it's an AI meme, and that's why you had the likes of AIXBT, AI16Z, Gotius Maximus, and those kinds of cryptocurrencies. Those are why those went up, because they were AI memes. They were these sentient beings, right? These sentient AI crypto projects, right? And that's why those went up without these necessarily having to go up, right? So these are my AI coins. in order of total holdings, right? So Virtuals is number 1, Neural AI is number 2, Cookie DAO number 3, and then you have got the dApps, okay? So this is AI agent infrastructure. This is, I suppose, AI generation, and AI is generative AI. Cookie is kind of AI agents also, and mindshare. Also relevant in meme season, actually. Leah, Taz is essentially Tau on Solana. And then Leah and Colin are dApps. You know, they're AI agent dApps that have the wow factor. All right, so that's my explanation as to why I've gone into these specifically. All right, so you've got all bases covered, really. You've got the AI agents covered, you've got generative AI covered, and you've also got kind of AI dApps covered. Right, so I've tried to be almost as capturing every narrative that could potentially come up in AI as possible. And then we've got the exposures, okay? So exposure means instead of getting into the kind of major market cap asset of a particular class, is you are getting into something that is able to divert liquidity into a smaller market cap because the narrative is so bullish. There's so much money and liquidity in that narrative that you can extract some of that incredible amount of money flow into something that is of a very like-minded nature, right? So Mirai is very close to Neural. The difference being is Mirai is under 1 million and Neural is, you know, at this point still about a micro cap. Let me just check. I believe Neural is still under, yeah, it is still under 50 million market cap. But if Neural is to go up, which I imagine it probably will, especially because it's got Alex Becker, Crypto God John, Elio Trades, and therefore the funnel of people that like to talk about their content like across the Rubicon, they're going to make Neural go up. And so therefore, if Neural goes up 2x, Mirai will go up 10 to 20x. Then we have got, and this again is in order of monies, right? So obviously Pandu has gone down, Pumpy has gone down. So these are slightly less than Mirai, but Pandu is extracting value from the Pudgy Penguins money flow, right? So Pudgy Penguins is basically an NFT meme coin, right? And that's what Pandu is, Pandu Pandas, right? So this is extracting, this is basically finding a very like-minded play for a much lower market cap, okay? Now, when I say much lower, I mean like 1000x or more lower. So that means the potential upside is ginormous compared to Pudgy Penguins, right? Because at this point, Pudgy Penguins has already made its move. So to invest in it at this stage would be, I believe anyway, even with this dip, stupid. Because it's already blown the fuck up. And yes, it could do a 10x, maybe more from here. But I believe that if Pudgy Penguins is going to do really well, as long as Pandu stick around, which it looks like they have, they've got an NFT collection, they're very, very active on X. And they seem to be a very on it, at this stage anyway, a very on it NFT meme coin, right? That is very, very similar. So I believe this is also going to shoot up, you know, when the money comes back in. And Pengu, I believe that because that is a meme coin, not an NFT coin, it's a meme coin. It's got NFT, you know, associations, but it is a meme coin ultimately. That when the retail market come in, they are going to be hot for Pengu. They're going to be looking for content. And, you know, they are going to be looking for something that's like Pengu. Because Pengu, they've already missed. They may add a bit of, they might put $400 into it. But if they see Pandu, they'll be like, whoa, look at that market cap. This could absolutely blow the roof off and outperform my Pengu, you know, speculative bet. And say for Pumpy, like right now, you know, Pump is one of the biggest losers. If we have a look in liquidations, you know, Pump is one of the big losers in terms of liquidations. You know, because it has pumped so much lately. And, you know, again, you know, these guys, I don't think this is going to be a short-term trend for Pump.Fun. Because they're trying to, I mean, look what happened. Pump.fun event, it was essentially a token that came off the back of a token launchpad, right? And it had no real utility. And then finally, they actually created something that was quite a major product in crypto, which is the live streaming element. Now, Alex Becker has said, I'm going to be doing 2 of these a week, right? And Alex Becker being probably the second biggest crypto channel, second or third biggest crypto channel, him doing these live streams is going to make a lot of attention go to Pump. And therefore, it opens up a narrative of a Pump.fun mascot, which is what Pumpy is, right? And Pumpy, last I looked, was 1.2 million market cap. So, these are really my top 6s. I don't have many more exposures. Doge would probably be an exposure to SPX, but I think that's doing it a disservice, because at this point, Doge is already proving itself to be a strong cult coin. It has held well. Very well. A lot better than SPX, actually, because SPX in the last 24 hours, this has gone from like $1.50 to $1.08. Like, this one has gone down. It's basically gone down to its lows. The low that it had achieved. So this went from, $1.08, $1.46, and now is down to $1.08. This absolutely tanked on the liquidations, right? But not Doge. It didn't. Doge has held very strong, and you need 6 months for a cryptocurrency to essentially form a cult. And Doge has now been out for 4 months now? Where the fuck is Doge? I've not even got Doge on here. Oh, here we are. So Doge has got 16,000 hodlers. It's been out now 3 months. Okay, 3 months. Okay, so it's on the way to basically being a strong cult, because it's not died. Most have died. Most of the coins that came out the same time as DJ6930 have died. And Doge remains strong. And I believe this was going to be a peach in the bull market. Particularly because I know what's happening. Right? So, first of all, let's have a look at the... Oh, hold on. Let's just go to the Explorer. So first of all, Doge is held by Mexi. They're one of the largest holders. There we are, 7th largest holder. They're increasing all the time. This has not gone down. When I looked last month, it was 6 million. When I looked a week ago, it was 10 million. Now it's near 11 million. They're only actually increasing their holdings. First of all, right? But Doge is doing something to remain top of mind. Okay, so I'm not going to say anything at this point, but what I am going to say is Doge is going to be a very explosive asset at the right time. At the right time. There's no point in having a royal flush when there's $5 on the table. Right? You have a royal flush when there's $50,000 on the table. That's when you have your chips in. Right? That's when you go for it. You go at the right time. You don't prematurely ejaculate. Right? So Doge is going to be doing great stuff at the right time. So anyway, these are the assets that at this point anyway, I am holding for the, certainly for, I believe, the narratives that are likely to pop off, right? Now, I haven't put gaming, I haven't put RWA, and I haven't put, what else is there? RWA, Deepin, and gaming. RWA, Deepin, and gaming. Why? I don't really hold many in those. Like, I don't even hold 6 assets. I'm probably doing gaming, but I don't in RWA, and I certainly don't in Deepin. right? The reason being is because they have a chance of all pumping, but then they may not. If we go back to 2021, when we... Fuck off with your ad blocker. Back to 2021, when we hit this top, the second top, we had 65k, I want to say, and then 70k. And when we hit 70k, what led up to this was gaming, metaverse, and launchpads only. Between July and November, those were the only 3 narratives that popped off. Even layer 1s didn't do that great. A couple did. ETH, Solana, Bitcoin did well, but most actually didn't do that great. Polkadot hardly even moved, right? If we go back to if we go back to this one, this top, this was only a few ones as well. This was mainly DeFi. DeFi in the first top of 2021, right? So you can have gaming, you can have RWA, you can have DeepIn, but they're not guaranteed, because not even memes and AI are guaranteed. There's a very strong likelihood, because they're already popping off, they're already kind of relevant now, right? So when it comes to the blow off top, I don't necessarily have confidence gaming will come back. It might. If it does, wow. But I'm not necessarily sure it will. But I believe these are ones that are almost destined to go up come what may, right? So that's why at this point I've got 4 key categories of cryptocurrencies at this point, ready for the alt season, ready for the euphoria stage. Anyway, that's that for my presentation. So let's have a look. Let's have a look and see what you guys have got to say. Pandu AI friend app, NFTs. Yeah, I mean, Pandu is actually a very, very strong asset, in my opinion anyway, in terms of the depth of the actual coin. I can bloody find it. There it is. So what you've got with Pandu is you have got an NFT collection of these pandas, but you've also got this kind of AI app where you can feed it.
Yum, thanks for the snack.
You can talk markets. You can change the panda. You can play with it. It's quite fun. What can you do with Pudgy Penguins? Nothing. Like at this point, let's have a look. You go to the website. What you've got is a landing page about the actual product. But there's nothing you can really do. So learn about Pengu lore. Start your collection now. Shop toys and figurines. But there's nothing you can do right now. Like now. Nothing you can do. Inspire, participate, and create with your fellow penguins. View Pudgy media. Like, you can't do anything. It's not actually really doing a lot, is it? So therefore, Pandu Pandas, I actually think, they kind of nailed it. They haven't just created a name very similar to Pudgy Penguins. Like, they've created something that is actually interactive, fun. And look, on TikTok, they've got animations. It's a brilliant execution. Very good execution. Like, if you were looking for a beta play, I suppose the kind of least you would expect is for this web page. But not necessarily an interactive panda animations. Don't see any of that with Pudgy Penguins, right? The difference between Pudgy Penguins and Pandu Pandas is who is talking about it. That's really what it comes down to. Like, you have got all of the major channels talking about Pudgy Penguins. It's through pure force of traffic, views, watch time. The people who talk about it, which are all the big YouTubers, everybody's heard about it. And that's why it's got a kind of critical mass market cap. Whereas, Pandu Pandas is known by nobody. Because, as I've already said, my views right now are not good. They're not good. They're actually below average, you know? And this is considering we're apparently in an alt season. So it just kind of goes to show you that with the right audience size, seeing this, you know, this is exact product market fit. It's perfect. Because the appetite is there for a very similar project that's gone to 3 billion. So there's no reason why this can't also. Pengu is a brand, yeah. And Pengu has been around since 2021, don't forget. This is one of the NFT collections of the NFT boom. You know, like World of Women, the Fidenzas, the OK Bears, the Crypto Punks, the Bored Apes. Yeah, it's a brand because it's been around a long time, right? It's been able to capitalize on community, on buyers. Pandu hasn't had that, hasn't had any of that. Yeah, as far as from what I've seen anyway, only 2 YouTubers have talked about it, me being one of them. So there's a lot more in the tank for this. Super, what do you think about Pumpy Super Crypto Man? Huh? You mean Pumpy? Yeah, I think that Pumpy is very, very similar to Pengu. I think that Pumpy is really a perfect mascot. A perfect mascot. Why? Because the name is obvious, right? Pumpy, right? So it's obvious it's related to Pump.Fun. The character's obviously related to Pump.Fun. Their artwork is great too. You know, from what I have seen, look. Very, very good. This is memes. This is what a meme coin does. It's memes. And they've got to support it, a website. You know, and if you think about it, look, lore and personality, this is what Pudgy Penguins has. And the whole colour scheme, the minimalistic look, it's in keeping with Pump.Fun. You know, there's probably more things that over time they could improve. You know, they're not where Pandy Pandas is at this point. You know, they haven't got animated videos or any kind of insane marketing like that. But they've only just come out. You know, they haven't just come out, but you know, they've only really become returned to relevance lately, right? So this one, if Pump.Fun, which let's face it, is one of the big platforms in crypto, if Pump.Fun continues to explode, then Pumpy has the chance to explode with it. Giga Chadet is a big hold. I actually have sold 0 Giga Chadet at this point. I've sold none. Because it hasn't yet had its pump. And something that is very important to realize is neither has Giga Chad. Like, Giga Chad is under 100 million at this point, right? Giga Chad was $1 billion cryptocurrency, right? And Giga Chadet has just, I mean, it's nearly the same as SPX and Daush. You know, Daush can't return to all-time highs until SPX starts making a move, and SPX needs to strengthen at this point. And you know, if that 2x's, Daush is going to 10x, right? And Giga Chad, same with Giga Chad. Like Giga Chad, as at this point, has not fully realized its profit-making potential. So we just have to wait and see, and you've got to be patient. Oh, I saw Cuspy. Cuspy's stupid. Leah over Aria. At this point, Aria is not, you know, Leah. Yeah, Aria, you know, this once upon a time was like a $4 million market cap and is presently under 1 million. So, no, my Aria holdings is nowhere near what my Leah holdings is. But, I mean, there's all the potential for Aria to absolutely overtake. But at this point, I haven't got anywhere near as much. Omega X Health. Again, not enough in terms of holdings. Omega X Health is again another cryptocurrency that has gone down, too low for it to register. I mean, let's face it. I am a meme coin YouTuber, right? So you need to be a quite large holding size for it to be in my top 6. Funkmaster Hex. I guess we're all fucked. It's down only now. No, I think that we've got potential downside, but I don't necessarily think that it is down only. I definitely don't think it's down only at this point. We need more holders of DAO. Time for that. There's plenty of time for that. Any news on when the All Buys group will be accepting new members? Yes, I will be accepting them very, very soon. Crypto Queen Amy, good to see you. Yeah, I think you will be very interested in what I've got to say. What's going on with AS? Well, not a lot. I mean, a week ago it was well under 1 million. So, it's still over 1 million. So, let's have a look at tits. Let's have a look and see how tits is right now. 431k. Yeah, this is virtually down to where I first spoke about it. So, yeah, AS is definitely outperforming tits at this point. I did buy a tad bit of this earlier, speculatively, because it was 800k market cap. But I don't actually think it's going to... It's been so volatile that I dare not say anything about... about this coin, because it's crashed and burnt. This is another pump.fun extractor. This is like exposure to pump.fun with an influencer attached that is, actually one of the biggest. So if you're going to get into a pump.fun influencer coin, probably this one's the one, but I don't think I would feel comfortable recommending it to anyone. So has one idiot ruined access to the All Buys group? No, it wasn't one idiot. It was a group of idiots. And basically what it boils down to is it's not about one idiot ruining it. It's more about not letting people who did ruin it before get back in. That's what it really boils down to. Feet coin still relevant? Yeah, Feet coin is there. And actually, I'm very surprised this is 69k market cap. Like, this is a cryptocurrency, from what I have seen anyway, with insane actual content for what for the market they're serving, which is the fetish market. And this one, again, I see doing well, just like AS. Because it's one of those... It's one of those subject matters, one of those focus points that is, on the right side of controversial. There are certain coins, like the PUSSY coin, that I think is disgusting and vulgar, to be honest. But Feet is on the right side of controversial, like on the right side of edgy. So I think that Feet will really explode come the bull market, particularly when you see a market cap of this size. It's tiny. So no, but I think that the time is right for everything. I won't be talking about things until the time is right anyway. And by the looks of it, Feet have been very very active anyway. Very active. Despite the coin price going down, very active. So yeah, I don't think you need to worry. Feet is a major fetish market, of hundreds of millions of fans. What do you think about low cap? I don't think much of low cap, really, to be honest. By the way, people, if I could have a quick like spike, just to commemorate you guys being here, because at the end of the day, it's quite a momentous day, to be fair. You know, we are seeing, in a bull market, big downside right now. So you're here, you're still relevant. So tap that like, tap it, people, and commemorate your attendance in this. You know, I would say at times of opportunity. It gets at some point, it gets ridiculous to say the words. You know, because whenever anybody, like, I look at all YouTubers posting today saying, major buy signal just flashed, don't be fooled, blah, 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 buy now. You know, it sounds cliched and, to be honest, repetitive when people say, buy the dip, it's another dip opportunity, it's an opportunity, because it just gets fucking annoying after a while, because people have been buying ever since 2020, beginning of 2024, and, you know, if you don't follow me, most people have been absolutely slaughtered in this bull market. Like, you have to have been agile, aware of what's trending and why, and what has interest to make the big money. You know, that's how it's done. Any coin under 100k to look at? Yeah, Feet coin. That's under 100k. Any other questions before I make like a tree and sod off, basically? No, I don't like legs. That's a stupid meme coin. So dumb coin. Okay, now that just sounds idiotic. Who would buy that? Like, think of fresh new money coming into cryptocurrency. Why would anybody buy Akinawi or whatever it's fucking called? That's stupid. I mean, it makes no sense. Your thoughts about Julia OS? It's okay. They're not particularly inspired by it, but, you know, it's there's so many coins. At this point, you just gotta pick what resonates with you. That doesn't really resonate with me, but who cares? Chance 2 sounds stupid. What the fuck games? That's a good one, actually. Have I got that in my list? I don't. How weird. Oh, yes, I do. 941k. Yeah, I think these guys are good. Without a gaming season, it's somewhat lackluster. You know, this is like a Nakamoto Games. This has Nakamoto Games potential. It's very good. Thank you very much, Ronnie. I love you too. XBT. I've seen someone talk about it. I've not looked at it. 1 XBT equals 1 BTC. XBT is a meme coin synonymous with Bitcoin's historic legacy. XBT was the ISO standard. Oh, that is true. That is true. XBT is what Bitcoin was, like on BitMEX, for instance. Before BTC became the standard ticker for Bitcoin, yeah, BitMEX used XBT. BTC became more popular. Well, not really. I wouldn't say it was a standard ticker. I would say it was really on leverage platforms that XBT was there. But, yeah. There we are, never mind. Right, okay, I think that's it, people. OTK games. OTK games. Let me have a look. I am quite interested to add. I don't really want to add as such. Oh, no, this is old. This is old. I'm not really interested in this. 4.8k. Nah, not interesting. Trinites assemble. Yes, very true. Housecoin is on a significant discount. And again, I think this one will pop the fuck off when it comes to RWA season. Because this, to me, is the most relatable RWA coin that exists. And it's a meme coin. So basically, it's a little bit like AIXBT and Gotius Maximus. That kind of thing. Like, it capitalizes on a very, very strong narrative, should that narrative become trendy. But it expresses it in a meme, easy to understand way. And that's why I think it's amazing. Any Matt Fury coins? No. Other than Andy, no, not really. Right, okay, people. Without any other suggestions, there's no real point. Good to see Momo Army in the house. Again, they are not quite at a level to be in my top 6. Because this top 6 is actually quite sizable in terms of value. So, you know, you have to be performing quite well to be even up there with this lot. But this I think is a quite beautiful list, to be honest. I think this is just an absolutely peachy list, particularly this one. This one I'm not, this one, until it becomes relevant, it doesn't really, Neural AI at one point was just so sexy. Right now, it's not really that sexy. So, it's not really doing a lot for me. None of these are really doing a lot for me at this point. But when it's trendy again, it will. When I'm into a particular type, then I'm all for it. But at this point, this is sexy as fuck list. And this is a great list as well, particularly these two, because this is AI, right? So memes at this point, I've been now doing memes for, 2 years now, I would say? A year and a half, a year and 3/4, I would say, in a dedicated way. But, as far as meme plays go, this is great. This is kind of like my blue chip play. Of all the blue chips I've got, Shib, Doge, not Doge, Shib and Pepe. Let me just have a look and see what other meme coins I've got in my... Brett! That's also... Yeah, Brett's quite sizable. And even that didn't... Toshi. That hasn't even made the cut. So it just goes to show that I've really, really gone heavy in these. I don't care what people say about, Doge sold out Doge. It's just bullshit. I saw that thing go to 87 million, and I know that's not its full potential. Your thoughts on Trash Coin? I'm not the best person to ask for that. There's already an influencer who loves it. Ask him. Can you have a look at Pixie? This will probably be the last thing I look at. Yeah, so this, I believe... Yeah, this is weird, right? So, I have looked at this, and apparently, if you scroll to the bottom... Hold on, bitcoin.org. Yeah, I mean, it's still bitty. Like, apparently... Where is it? Scroll to the bottom, you see Pixie. Oh, go to bitcoin.org, normal. Is it meant to be here? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it is there! Oh, right, I see. I found it. Okay, got you. This is going to pump like shit now. Got you. Okay. Proof I'm the OG. Well, how long it's been there? Seen on bitcoin.org since 2009. I've been on bitcoin.org a ton of times. Never saw this. Let me have a look. See ya. Alright, let's have a look. 2011. Let's see if this is really true. Fuck. Hate it when it keeps moving. Is it going to it? Okay. So, okay, it clearly wasn't there then. At least I don't think so. Let's try 2022 because Bitcoin.org looked like it then. Oh man! Hurry up! Right, here we go. That'll do. Tickle him! Tickle him! What the fuck? It did not look like this in 2020. Oh, I'm still looking at 2011. What the? Bear with me. This stupid thing ain't working properly. Right, let's try this. Let's have a look and see if it's really there. Oh, Jesus. Think about Yao Ming. No. Homie sounds stupid. Tell about Pumpy already have. Carry on watching. Sui memes. Sui memes are dead. You can hope all you want, but hope is not a strategy. Okay, it's not coming up. But whatever the case, you know, we found the pixie. I don't think it was there. But it's there now. But it wasn't there then. Look, you can see the overhang of the wand here. So it wasn't there then. But, you know, they've added it, so whatever. You know? There's another one. Let's have a look and see how Pixie's doing now. Brilliant. You gotta love the Suppo effect. Hold on a minute. Let me just get rid of some idiot that didn't read the memo. Right, that's it. Okay, people. Thank you very much for being here. And really, the overarching message on a day like today is just persevere. You know, just keep going. You know, you're in it now. You're in the crypto market. You may as well just stick it out. You know, you're going through one of the worst days in terms of liquidations, and there may be worse. But we've had worse in 2025, and we're still here. And really, as I've said a million times about cryptocurrency, it's all about timing. You know, you just have to be there when the money's flowing in. And the thing is in crypto is this ebbs and flows. You know, 1 minute it's really up. We haven't had much of those kinds of situations this year, but that means that it's gonna come. You know, and then sometimes it's really down. You just gotta weather the storm. Till next time, people, I love you lots. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you for being here. Tap a like on the way out. And I will see you next time. It is lights out, all out.